gonna try and do a one-take movement review of everything I've learned in my 457 hours on Apex. Um, Starting with the basics, our slide out of the sprint, and then our slide jump, which lets us get a little bit extra boost. Um, from there, I'll probably introduce bunny hopping, which is when we hold crouch and hit jump as soon as we hit the ground. Helps to put in directional inputs and try and move to side also. You can tap strafe out of these. Anytime you jump, you can tap strafe. So out of normal slide jumps, we can do 180 tap strafe and then chain that into a wall bounce, tap strafe out of the fucking, or not a wall bounce, a bunny hop, and then tap strafe out of the bunny hop. Um, as you can see, I'm doing here. That's a pretty good one. Move the ledge tech real quick. When you climb a ledge, you can immediately slide off of it. You can also immediately jump. It's called a glide. You can glide in any direction. You can only slide the direction your camera is facing. You can combine the two, and if you hit frame perfect timing, you do a super glide, which hopefully I'll do here. Nope, I suck. Do another try. One more. There we go. Because the super glide is technically a glide and we are jumping, you can choose different directions. So I could super glide to the side also, like I did there. And once again, because we're jumping, we can tap strafe out of that too. So let me try and do a 180 out of it. Nope. One more attempt here. There we go. So you get a lot of distance with that, even without a movement speed boost. I think that's about all my ledge, or my ledge tech. We'll go to the wall here. Do our wall bounces. Most people know the standard wall bounce. Take an angle, slide into it, bounce off with a jump as soon as you hit. It helps to apply a directional key when you do that, um, especially when you're trying to wall bounce off of half walls. Demonstrate that here. Because if you don't input a directional key, you actually climb the half wall instead of bouncing off of it. You can tap strafe into wall bounces and tap strafe out of them. So right there, I ran parallel, tap strafed in, and then tap strafed out to change my movement. If you do the tap strafe out really well, you can actually take them like a full 180. I'm not very good at them, to be honest, but we'll give one more try with the speed boost here. It might be a little bit easier. That was okay. Yes, you see what I mean. Some people are way better at that than I am, but it can be a useful mix-up. You also tap strafe over the wall, out of the wall bounce. Allow you to climb the wall quickly, avoid the climb animation, let you keep your gun up. Last thing on wall bounces, this is a different kind of wall bounce. It's called a jump fatigue wall bounce. Like, I don't know how the fuck it works. You can look it up. But you got to jump, and then while you have this fatigue cooldown going, you can actually wall bounce without having to slide jump into it. The timing's a little bit more difficult, and I am certainly not as good at it as some people, but it's useful when you don't have the opportunity to do a slide jump. I think that's about everything for wall bounces for me. We'll move to the wall run. This is some shit I just learned. I am not very good at this, but this is the shit that Guapi does with Rev, to like do the spider climb around the fucking walls and shit. So basically, you go onto the wall and then you hold a directional input like A or D, depending on which way you want to go, and you'll spider climb along the wall. You can jump out of it and tap strafe around corners, which is what I just did there. And that's what Guapi does with Revenant to chain them together. You can kind of like just infinitely spider climb around with Rev. I don't have him, so I can't show that. I have not tried it on my own, but I imagine that's about how it works. You just kind of keep chaining them together. I think that's it for my wall tech. Definitely want to experiment a bit more with this climb, or the wall run. I mean, it seems like a pretty good way to peek a corner. So I'll give that some practice now that I've learned it. Quickly move over to the zip line here. So with zip lines, vertical zip lines like this, if you hit interact and jump at the same time, you do a super jump, which is what that was. You get way more height and speed out of it than a regular one. You can only do this off the ground though. You can't do it while you're already on the zip line. The same is true of tap strafing. You can only do that while you're on the ground and not while you're on the zip line. But you can combine the super jump and the tap strafe to do some pretty cool moves like that. I think that's about it for my zipline tech. I'm not very good at ziplines. I guess the only other thing would be that you can just do like the people in the zipline buildings will just like chain these back and forth, right? The jumps, and you can do that 3 times until you can't get back on the zipline until you hit the ground. Let's see. Quickly move to the quickly move to the jump pad here. The jump pad, because we get a double jump and it's a jump, we can tap strafe out of that, do a 180, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But you can also tap strafe out of the first jump if you slide jump right as you're coming into the jump pad. That's a pretty fun one. Definitely makes Octane a lot of fun. Although I'm not very good at it. But you can imagine the applications for this. Although you do lose a lot of speed by doing it, especially when you do the 180 like that. So you will be an easier target. So you know, definitely a situational move. It's definitely better if you do a less, like a smaller tap strafe out of it instead of doing the 180, so you don't kill quite as much speed. I think that's about everything I know though as far as move techs. There's definitely other shit out there that I have no idea how to do. Oh wait, one more actually. I can show the Ross strafe here. So this is supposed to be done when you're like AD strafing, crouch strafe fighting somebody. It's really good with the PK. I'm not very good with full autos with it yet, but what you do is when you're going left to right, you throw in a jump, and it lets you actually change direction, come back the other way out of the jump, and you land in a slide. So pretty powerful mix up there. If you're really good at it, you can actually chain them together. Oh, I fucked that one up. Kind of. You can kind of see what I was going for. You can, barely. You just try and take it back the other way. Maybe if I try a speed boost, it'll help. Or actually, fuck, I'll put my weapon away. That'll definitely help. I keep going backwards. If you are going backwards, you're doing your inputs a little too late. Just what happens to me a lot of time. I almost had it there. Definitely recommend looking up a tutorial on this shit. I just learned how to do this strafe, and I've just recently started trying to apply it to gameplay. There we go. I got the double strafe. But like really good players can just chain those together the whole time while they're just busting PK shots at you. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I think that's about every move tech I know. We'll see in another 457 hours if I know some more.